almost like I shouldn't make any jokes about African American culture because they went through slavery.
No, not because because our ancestors and systematic racism. You shouldn't make it because it's the understanding and the intent behind it. You as a white man does not have access to something you were never a part of. Now, if you want to get up here and make fun of ignorant slave masters, and you want to sit here and talk about how ignorant they were for having other people do their work, and how, and things like that, that's one thing, but you got to be careful with how you approach that, and not so in a offensive way, but if you're trying to enlighten people, and which is why I brought up the Clayton Bigsby skit. Yeah. He wasn't doing it to be, just say, hey, I can dress as a Klans member on this show. He was doing it to put a meaning behind it.
Absolutely. I agree. But back to my point. So, like, the Black culture now, it's almost turned into like yes, there's very like specific and very like beautiful things about the Black culture, but it's almost turned into like it's evolved into like culture for everyone. You know what I mean? Like,
no, it didn't. It just, you guys always thought it was your culture, and you always took from it, and then you used it and wanted it to be yours. It never was yours. It's just you took what you wanted.
I'm not saying we own it. I'm just saying like a lot of kids who listen to rappers, like white kids, they're like, damn, bird, or I kind of want to be like this guy. That's allowed, right? Like, that's cool. Or,
well, it's one thing to want to emulate, to be and to emulate and to understand is two different things. I can listen to certain music, but not also understand where someone is coming from if I've never been in that situation. It's like reading an autobiography of a military veteran. Yes. I can understand, but will I dress up and dress up as a military veteran just because I appreciate the military and the service that someone did? Would I suddenly walk around here doing stolen valor because I appreciate them? Mm-hmm. No, I wouldn't do that.
It's a little bit of a stretch because like all my character is mm-hmm. like I talk different and I wear a do-rag, and like not all black people act that way either, though. You know what I mean?
But let's be honest though. Where does that come from? For example, look at my hijab. Immediately, when someone sees me, they immediately know what? I'm Muslim. You're Muslim, right? Absolutely. Okay. If I did not have this on, you would not know immediately that I was a Muslim. So what we wear and how we identify doesn't mean, and just so you know, there are Christian women who wear and veil as well. There are nuns that veil. Doesn't mean they're Muslims, right? So you have to understand that certain things will look a certain kind of way no matter what, because that's just the stereotype.
Okay. So if there are, and I enjoy this conversation, and it may sound like I'm not absorbing what you're saying and I'm just trying to get my point across, but I have listened to a lot of what you said and I appreciate it. Mm-hmm. But if there are, let's say there's black men out there right now that talk with a similar accent to me.
But there are, yeah.
They wear a do-rag.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they come in here and they're like, man, this is funny as fuck, dude. You're hilarious, bro. Like, mm-hmm. Who are you to tell them that they can't enjoy this?
I'm not. No one. I can't tell them that they can't enjoy it. However, in my opinion, I can see it as something that is ignorant. And what I think that you should say, as you said, you're trying to raise a child. I think you should raise your child to understand that what we do and how we do something should be looked at, as well as the importance behind it, the intent behind it. I don't need the
What do you think my intent is, legitimately?
Well, what do you think my intent is? Hold on. I don't need the pat on the back of one person to tell me that I'm right. I need to understand and listen to the majority, because you're always going to find someone to tell you you're doing okay. There's always going to be someone to tell you that you are fine with what you're doing. Now, you asked me, what do I think your intent is? I think genuinely, I don't think you're out here trying to be racist in the sense of, I don't think you're not a Klansman, but there's levels to racism, and there's levels to understanding and being able to identify with other people. I think you truly believe this is funny and you truly believe you are making other people laugh. But can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Did Black people ask you, did these Black men say, we want you to make a caricature of us?
Well, it's not a caricature of Black people.
But you said it was if a Black man came out and said, I love what you're doing, you felt like who would to say he was wrong?
Yeah,
So
but
therefore,
that doesn't
you're
mean that I
making
made
a
a
caricature.
caricature of a Black man.
But when you ask me who typically wears do-rags and who typically wears and talks like
Because
that,
you brought that up. I was saying that because you're the one that brought it
but
up.
you said that, but then you brought it to B-Rad from Malibu's Most Wanted.
Yeah,
So
that's
we gotta
more
be
so what
honest
the
with
character is.
And what
And
is that?
I don't think that he's necessarily trying to act Black. He may take some things from the culture and then like play on it to its extreme for the lulz.
So then can I ask you a question? Why,
Yes.
if you're not trying to be Black and you don't care and that's not your goal, why would you care if a Black man patted you on the back and said, hey, I'm okay with what you're doing?
Why would I care? Because it goes against what you're saying. Like it kind of counteracts the points that you're trying to make, in a sense.
How?
If you're saying that it's like so racist, and then other Black people are saying that it's not racist, like I get what you mean by the majority, but it's like it's kind of the beauty of like freedom of expression and freedom of speech, like I said before. And I know you said that only things that deal with hate revolve around that, but I don't think that that's necessarily the case.
I think you don't want to be honest. I think you are trying to be what you think is a stereotypical Black person. You utilize the movie Malibu's Most Wanted, and let's be honest, that is exactly who he was trying to be.
Which you said was hilarious.
Absolutely, but it's context. So let's also look at, do you remember the movie Tropic Thunder?
The blackface one, right?
Tropic Thunder.
That's not okay. I don't think that's okay.
Why not?
Because you're literally blackfacing. I think there's a big difference.
So you're doing the same thing. The only thing is you don't have makeup on.
But you just said that Malibu's Most Wanted was funny.
Right, and so was Tropic Thunder. But do you understand the reasoning behind why Tropic Thunder, why Robert Downey Jr.'s character was funny? Because he was a man pretending to be another man while playing another man. Essentially, what he was saying, the character evolves around the racism and how we will allow people to dress a certain kind of way. We will hire non-Hispanic actors. We will to play a Hispanic role who know nothing of Hispanic culture instead of just hiring someone who happens to be Hispanic.
Okay.
So there was a point behind the character. You can do something and it can be tasteful.
What do you think the point behind Malibu's Most Wanted was?
Same thing. The point of Malibu, it's a comedy to make fun of people who believe that they can act a certain kind of way and be privileged. And a lot of it was white privilege. Because let's be honest, he put himself in a scenario in the movie, right? He gets kidnapped. He puts himself in a scenario where he's trying to be tough. But did you also see that the two actors, who happen to be Black men, were also being stereotypical what they think Black men were supposed to be like? So there's a bigger message.
Funny.